Hey everybody, it's Cody, Dixon RC here. So today we're going to unbox and build the brand new Powerhobby branded Scx10, Scx10.2 LCG Chassis kit. This is different than the other one that I had built a couple of months ago. This one's a little bit more tame, so to speak, I guess. It's not near as aggressive as the other one. The other one had like an angled skid and some crazy links and things like that. This one does not include any links. It does have all the spacers. It has a battery tray. There's a place for a mount for a servo, so you can have chassis mounted servo, which is great. It has a panhard bar mount built into it as well. Battery tray, electronics tray. I think that's what that thing is on the top. But anyway, it's got some funky sliders. And it does have a flat skid made out of, looks like delrin. So what I'm gonna do is take this out, show you all the pieces, build it, and let you see it put together. These things are $49.99, ridiculously cheap for carbon fiber. Every other piece on this thing is carbon fiber. It's like 3mm carbon fiber, the rails are, and then all the other little extra pieces in there besides the little spacers are all carbon fiber as well. Super cheap for carbon fiber. I don't know how they do it. Well, I do know how they do it, but it's crazy that they do it the way they do and they sell it as cheap as they do. I have seen these on AliExpress and stuff like that for like $52 or something like that. Of course, you got to wait 3 or 4 months. When this video releases, I have 3 of them in stock, and if they sell in the next couple of days, I'll get more. I always try to have 2 or 3 sets of each of these kits, this one and that other LCG kit as well. This one I think is a little bit better for the actual builder, or not a builder, but the actual like RTR guy. If you wanted to kind of bump up your performance of your ready to run, this is probably the kit. If you have an element, it's going to bolt right up. If you have an Scx10 or a 10.2, bolt right up kind of deal. The element ones should just bolt right. I think though, yeah, the Stealth transmission, the Stealth X transmission will bolt up to this skid that's on here. The Stealth X will not, but you can probably put the Stealth X skid on here and it just won't be a flat skid, which is not a super big deal. Maybe it is to some people, but it's probably not that big of a deal. But so hang tight, and we'll come around. We're going to untake everything out of here. The only thing I really dislike about this is there is no packaging. This is it. It comes in a black bubble wrap package. You cannot tell what's in it. There's no part number on it. For me, that's horrible. I hate that. I wish it was in a clear bag like the other one is, so you can kind of see what it is. But I don't know. It's weird how they do things. China does things a little bit different than everybody else, so that's how it goes. But hang tight. Come around. We'll take it out and build it. All right, so let's take this thing out of the bag. First thing that'll come out will be the rails. They are both identical, but they are both just a carbon fiber rail. This is a spot for your chassis mounted servo mount. Then you get multiple spots for shocks, front and back. The rear, they got these weird, I don't know why they do that. And this would have been cool if they would have just left that just solid so you can drill your own holes for whatever you want. But both of them are the same. Nothing crazy there. Now the next thing in here is just a bag full of goodies. Move that out of the way. Let's open up this bag, see what's in here. Now, as you can see, when you notice in here, there is zip ties in here, and I'll tell you why those are in here in a second. Weird they decided to do that. I don't know why there's zip ties in here, but I do know why there's zip ties in here, but I hate the reason why there's zip ties in here. So you get 4 little zip ties. What they actually want you to do is zip tie this battery mount to like here, I think is where they want it to go. See that? They want it to go up here, and you just zip tie it to the 2 rails. Seems ridiculous, but anyway, this is the battery mount. These pieces here are the sliders. So like I think the way it sets up is this will bolt. There's like there's some little mini spacers in this bag. It'll go like this, and then you got a slider. Looks like there's slots in here to put Velcro, so you could probably put some sort of battery holder on that if you wanted to. This is in the very front. This goes like, I think it goes like right, I don't know exactly where it goes, but it goes somewhere in here. And I think this is supposed to be like an electronics mount, but I don't think that's what it actually is. But don't really know what it is, to be honest. It looks like you put some nuts here and you tighten it down. It almost looks like a body mount would fit here, like those fish's crawler parts mount will fit there. Of course, you get a bunch of different little spacers in different sizes. It depends on which way you're going to go. This is a 78 millimeter skid. The spacers that space it out is 70, so it will bend whenever you put it together. You get 2 tabs for a bumper. It goes in here like this, and then you put one of the braces through here, so you get like a little compy style bumper, which is nice. Then your chassis mounted servo, which, like I said, it just goes into this slot here. When you put the spacers in it, it will snap it together and it will hold. So your servo will just bolt here, and then your panhard will go right here. Nothing to it. So pretty simple, nothing crazy. And of course, the delrin skid, it is a flat skid. It's a nice machine skid. Let's see what's in the hardware bag. Of course, the hardware could be hit or miss. All right, just a bunch of screws, nuts. They are 2 mil screws, which is good. 3 mil threads, but 2 mil head. You get a couple of, are these threaded? You get some threaded spacers. Little mini spacers, that's good. These are for the side plates, I think. I don't know why there's so many of them, but that's what those are for. So, pretty cool. Not a bad little kit for the money, to be honest. I really think sliders are, of course, something that everybody needs to figure out on their own anyway, because it's a preference thing on how you want to have them built anyway. But so I'm going to build this thing real quick, and I'll be back and we'll discuss how it looks after it's built. So hang tight. All right, so I changed my mind. So this thing includes 0 instructions. Nothing that tells you how to put this thing together. You kind of can go off pictures, but it's going to be very odd. One other thing I noticed just sitting here fixing to put it together. So most skids have a set screw, like a 3 mil set screw that goes all the way through, that'll hold the lower links on inside this skid. There is none of those in this kit. So you will have to source 3 mil set screws. But more than likely your RTR or your kit or whatever has them in it for the same thing. Most of these skids nowadays have some sort of set screw that does that, and that's fine. It's not going to be that big of a deal. But so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to build these side plates first. So you'll take a smaller side plate, a bigger side plate. You take one of the longer screws. There's only 4 of them. You'll put it through this hole here. You take one of these spacers that's here, that's in this kit, the smaller spacer, not the chassis rail spacers, but these smaller spacers. Screw it all the way down in here. Get you a little wrench if you got one. Tighten it all the way down like that there. Tighten it down if you can get a little bit of pressure there. So then you take this second plate. Actually, I'm going to do it on the other side as well, because it makes it easier if you just go ahead and do both sides at the same time. You'll take this. Now, some of these spacers may be a little tight to tighten because they're not, they've been threaded, but they haven't been cleaned maybe, or something like that. Could possibly be something along the lines of that. So you take that there, and you'll take that, set it like this, set the bigger one on top of that, and how you tighten this down is you grab another spacer. So you'll do that there, tighten that down the best you can, because you can only get it so tight anyway. So we'll do that, and we'll do that twice. I'm going to get a wrench handle, so I put a little grip to it. Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, so I'm going to do it on this next one as well. You take the small one, stick some bolts through there. All right, so that's built there. So we'll take one side of the chassis rails, and we're going to, so there's 3 or 5 different spacers. 3 of them are 70 millimeter, 2 of them are 75 millimeter. The 2 75 millimeters are the ones for the bumper, to when you make your little compy bumpers deal. The 70s are for everything else. One goes in this hole right here. The other one can go anywhere in here in the, you know, the shock mounting. My idea would be probably to use whatever shock you're using, whatever screw would go into this as well. And the other one will go in the back. I would say probably would be okay to use the smaller screws. These are like 3x8s, I think is what they are. So we'll do that. I'm going to just go ahead and start these. I'm just going to do lower, bottom. Not going to be, I don't really know if that's going to be the correct thing or not, but I'm just going to do it. Screw in the back for that. Screw that down there. See, now that one's screwed up. So this one won't hold, this one won't hold anything at all. What? All right, so luckily I had that other Powerhobby kit had some 70 mil spacers in it, so I'm just going to use that. It's a little bit of a bigger spacer. It's not the same size, but I don't think it's going to matter. As long as I get it built, that's all I really care about. Anyway, more than likely every other kit won't be like that. It won't have one of those screwed up. It could just be something with this one. I don't know. So when you go to put your skid on, the two inside ones are the ones you're going to use to at least mount anyway. I'm going to use the longer screws for sure because I think that's the better option. And they're threaded already in the delrin, so you shouldn't have to really do any hard screwing in there. It should just work, which is nice. Tighten those down. All right, so the next thing is this funky little plate. I don't know what this is. I don't know what it does. I have no idea. It's kind of crazy. But you put a nut in here, and that will tighten it down. I would say probably use the long screws. I'm going to, this is supposed to be kind of like a brace as well, but I can't, I don't know, man, this is weird. I don't know what this is actually for or what its purpose is in here, but it'll only really go on the top here. Actually, it'll go in all four spots, but I'm going to just use this top piece here. And that was my thought as well. This isn't going to hold this at all. Let's try and put it in just to have it done, but I really don't think this is quite the answer. It might eventually start working, maybe. The idea really here is that it's not going to tighten down inside of here. Well, maybe it will. So that did tighten down, but I mean, that's still not. Okay, well, okay, so I guess the nut compresses down onto the side of it here, so it will kind of hold it in place. It's not the greatest thing ever, but hey, I mean, I guess it'll work. All right, so that's half of it done. So what we're going to do is just install the other half. Should be fairly simple just to go ahead and do that. Actually, you know what? Hang on. So these sliders go into these little slots here. So like one of them will go there, one of them will go here. You can kind of have some sort of height adjustment. I think that's really cool. That's good. At least they did that. I think that's why those slots are there. I couldn't really figure out why they were there, but that kind of gives you, so you could set it up like that, or you can go down to where you match the bottom of the frame rails, possibly. That's pretty cool. I mean, it's not bad anyway. I guess at least you got sliders. I mean, something. Some of these kits probably don't even come with sliders, so. Be a good idea to not tighten this all the way down so you can have a little bit of movement here. I'm just going to put it all the way to the top because I don't really know where else it's going to go just yet. All right, so one side's done. Pretty simple. I'm not going to do the bumper yet. I'm going to do that last because I think it goes a certain way, so we'll just do that last. No big deal. So grab your screws and just start screwing everything else back in here from the other way, on the other side of the chassis rails. So see how you got a difference in width here. So you are going to have to do some pressing to make this work. Not a big deal really, but it is a little odd to do. It's very not like a normal thing. Most guys don't like it when you have to do that, but it is normal. Probably might have been a good idea to go ahead and tighten these down first, these skid bolts. Luckily they just go right on, so no big deal. Tighten all of them down so they're sitting flush. The only one that's going to have to be moved around is this spacer here, which is weird because it doesn't look like it's going to tighten up very well. Let's see if we can get this to work. You know what I didn't do though? I did not put the... I wonder if it'll bend enough. No, it's not going to bend enough. So I did forget to do something. Forgot to put in the chassis mount, servo mount. Won't be hard to do though, because it'll... Yeah, there it goes. Boom. So nothing to it. So you do want to have this in here because it does add a lot of rigidity to this setup here. So when I tighten this down, it's going to push this side in, but that's going to become super tight, and it did become super tight. That's good. All right, all that's left on this side is putting these mounts in, side skirts, side plates. I'm gonna have a tough time with this because I should have done it before I put on the plate, but hey, we're here, so it's gonna have to be this way. Get out my ball end wrench because that's probably going to be the best option here because you can't get a super straight shot into it. And that's it. It's built for the most part. I mean, we still got the front bumper. Also, we're going to look at this here. I do not like this at all. I mean, I'm not a big fan of that style of, because it's going to work, yes, but it's still not clean. It doesn't look good. The zip ties is what bothers me. I'm fine with zip tying a bunch of stuff, but boy, because I'm a Honda guy, so zip ties are life. But man, this is not great in my opinion. But I guess it's probably the only option. I don't know. Somebody can probably make something. You can build all kinds of stuff. A lot of people have pretty good ways to build what they want. So see, like if you do that, then you could push that down. So like you take that and chop this off here, and take it and push it down. I could see that being okay, but man, you still gotta, that's still gonna move. You put a battery in there, it's gonna have movement. That's dumb. But anyway. All right, so let's build the bumper. Front bumper looks like it just bolts together here, or yeah, like this. It bolts in here like this. So you put So let's do that. But go ahead and just do the 2 outer holes into the brace here. What we're going to do is do, you know what, probably would be a good idea to use these smaller bolts in here. A reason being is because you're going to double stack carbon like here, like so. You probably have the longer ones for nuts. It'd be the better option for those, I'm betting. So do that. So take your small ones, because that's enough. That's enough engagement there. Should be fine. Put it in the second one here. Tighten it down as much as you can by hand. Take it and then match up how you have that one to this way. Do the same thing. Put your small bolts through there. Okay, it's about as tight as it's going to get on that. So the idea that then it will finally, it'll just, so it's going to push this in a little bit here. Yeah, there we go. So then you'll take, so there's one hole on this, there's a hole and then a slot. So you'll just basically use the hole as a guide to put one screw and nut in, and then you'll use the other one as a, just, it can be, I'm assuming it's so you can move it, but I don't think you'll be able to move too much of this. So that's why you want to use the long one, because you don't have very much room for engagement. So you want to be able to make sure do the same on this end here. And that's it. So it also comes with some screws just for the skid. They're made for it, which is cool. You don't see that too often. You don't come with those. I'm going to throw this other zip tie in, only because it just needs to be in there so it quits sliding around. Yeah, see, that's going to move too much. Anyway, all right, so it's built, the Powerhobby LCG Chassis, the newest one for the Scx10 and 10.2 with a chassis mounted servo mount, battery tray, flat delrin skid, side plates, which I don't really know what you'll use them for, plenty of room in the back to do things. You get a cool little compy bumper, which is pretty neat. Now, you don't see that too often. At least you got something. That's cool. But that's it. Sorry this ran a little bit long. I wanted to show you how to build it in case somebody buys this. Like I say, when this video uploads, there's 3 in stock in the store. I ship every day. It's cheap, not bad. The link will be in the description to go directly to the site to buy it. So if you want one, just go grab one. And thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time.